Welcome in, everybody. I'm Darasha Singleton with FOX54, the digital producer here, and it's time to turn up the volume, which stands for Voices of Ladies United, Motivated, and Empowered. It's a chance for us to sit down with women throughout the community that have made an impact and a difference in their respective lane. Okay, so today we're going to speak on a topic that's pretty near and dear to me. I come from a military home. All my parents, mom, stepdad, dad, veterans. And we have a veteran in today, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her up on the camera just so we can go ahead and get into this conversation. But we have Miss Watha here. How you doing today?
I am doing beautiful, and thank you so much for asking. I'm so excited about today, sharing this morning with you on this subject, and thank you for recognizing me as one of those women. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Again, we thank you so much for coming in. Now, Miss Watha here is a veteran who was a part of the last class of the Women's Army Corps. And, you know, for me, this is a time for knowledge because I would love to learn more about this Army Corps and how did it come about? How did you even get into it? And just let's start there.
Okay, so to start my story, I think back into my life when I was young. Growing up, didn't know which way I wanted to go into life. I met a young man, thought I fell in love.
Oh, yeah.
I had a child, and then coming from my background, my mom is a minister, pastor her own church. She grew that herself with her members and stuff, and then just being a hard person and involved, and knowing my life had some type of substance and be greater because she was the woman that she was,
Right.
and I strived, knowing that I couldn't walk in her footsteps. I strived to be like my mom.
Yes.
And so I met this young man. I had a baby, and he wasn't the young man that I thought that I was that he was, and so I didn't know what to do. I started working in a blue jean factory, Wrangler blue jeans factory, doing production work, and the more I did, the more they brought back to me. I had to redo, so I wasn't making any money. I wasn't going anywhere, so I started looking for things to do. And I found that I started reading about the military, and I was like, well, dang, and I hadn't heard, nobody in my whole city had ever been female. We seen the guys, but never seen women.
Yeah.
And so that opened up my eyes, and then I saw where it was a lot of men, and I don't want to sound crazy or like I was that thirsty, what they say nowadays.
No, but you knew you could do it too. You saw those men. You knew you could do it too.
And I was thinking about my baby,
Yes.
you know, me and her and our future. And so I was looking for a great man to help me, you know, to raise my family.
Right.
And so that's how I got motivated to go into the military.
To get in there. Sometimes you got to get in the same rooms. You know, you see this life for yourself. You got to put yourself in that position. So you knew that was.
And I said, I'm gonna try this. I tried everything else, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I tried that, and I thought about it, and then I had my baby. So
Yeah.
I was like, I got to do something for her. You know, I'm looking at our. So I joined the military, and not knowing that it was not that many women in the military,
Right.
I got to go to Fort McClellan, Alabama.
Wow.
That was an experience. It was an
Right.
eye-opener. It was a challenge.
Wow.
It was something, I'm glad that I did it. It made a great, lasting impression in my life, not knowing that one day I would be considered as part of history.
History. Yes.
So,
Herstory.
yeah.
That's what we like to call it.
Yes. Yes. So we got, well, we wasn't mistreated. We was just heckled, and the guys did not want us in the military at all. When we was running or doing our exercises or out there doing what we supposed to do, they called us, they would like quack quack, because we was like, they would just make fun of us. So it was
Oh,
really
my
hard.
goodness.
We wasn't accepted. And in my time, you know, that's when I guess male chauvinist pigs that you wanted to call them was really out there, and they was like, you're not supposed to be here. They let us know that we was not welcome.
Right.
And that we supposed to be home, barefooted, and pregnant. That's where we was supposed to be.
Right.
And so we as a group, and I thank God for that challenge and that group of women that was with me at that time, because we all was headed in the same direction.
Yeah.
We all wanted something for some reason or another, even though we didn't sit down and talk about why we was here or what we was going through. We went through it together. And it was a lot of times that I wanted to quit. They would not let me quit. We became as a family. We became more than friends. We became sisters. And to this day, I'm still in touch with some of them. That's like we have that
amazing.
Togetherness that it brought us together forever.
And an experience that, nobody, any other person wouldn't fully understand. Y'all will get it. Other women in the military might, can relate, but y'all shared that same experience.
Yes, and it was something, just to go through. But I thank God for that place and that we made it through, because it wasn't easy. And even though I said that I'm a strong woman and I'm this and that, to this day, that made me strong.
That's what made you a strong woman. Yes.
Because at one time, right at the end, I done made it through all the heat, the slip in the snow in pup tents, and those running with combat boots on your feet, and oh my God, you sit down to eat, you got so many minutes.
Oh yeah, growing up as a kid on base, I remember seeing the younger military.
Yeah,
but yes.
And getting back out there, just and then being a woman in those places, and you have to deal with feminine things and stuff. So it was really hard. A lot of people, you'd have to be there to understand it, to know the full meaning of what we went through. And then at the end, I was like, I can't do this. I can't take this anymore. I'm quitting. And so I threw my weapon down. It was raining. We were supposed to be going on a 5-mile march, and it was like 20 miles. And I threw my weapon down, and I sit my behind down, and I was like, I'm not going no farther. They can do. I just gave up on life and everything. And my people, my sisters, they was like, no, you're not going to do that. And I was like, yes, I am. And so they was like, they would not leave. And I was like, go on, because I didn't want them to get in trouble.
Right.
You can do it. Leave me alone, because I'm through. And they wouldn't leave me. They would not leave me. And because of them and the good Lord, I am where I am today.
Right.
Yeah, and that togetherness and that love. And then after I got on into life, and that sisterhood carried on with me, because we was all in that same boat together. We all went through, and we got together. Whenever we go to a different military installation, I always ran into those sisters.
So they got you up and said, we're going to keep moving.
Like, no, you're in. Yes, and because of them, it made me a stronger person. And it let me know, that I could do it. And it also let me know that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Yes.
And I never have been.
Right.
And that makes a big difference in my life.
And I want to talk more on, do you know how the Women's Army Corps started? Was it because women couldn't be in the same, I guess, branch as men and women, that they kept y'all separate? Or is that why? Or is just there was a Women's Army Corps that started and then
I never have looked in the history of it. And I'm like people today with the movie that just came out not too long ago.
Right.
I'm like, I was part of that, and I didn't know what I was a part of.
Wow.
And my brother has always told me that you need to write a book. You need to write a book.
Yes.
And I think about it sometimes, and I'm like, I need to do some of the research and really find out. I know who I am, but I need to know who I really am.
Yes,
and what I am a part of.
What you are a part of, for sure. I do want to, I know you spoke a bit about the sisterhood that you gained, but is there any other parts throughout that time that you that really, that was the best times for you? Any memories that were good for you out of that, along with the sisterhood?
being able to travel,
Mm.
and I love traveling anyway, and then to be able to travel and to know that my children was able to travel with me, because when I came in, it was really a one. Before I came in, some of the women that came before me, they would put them out of the discharge them from the military.
Wow.
When you became pregnant, you
It
couldn't
was
stay in
done.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to be able to come after them
Hmm.
and to be able to be in the military, and they came up with a plan for us if you had children
Right.
to be there. But they also had things set aside that you had to do, like if you had one or two kids, then you had to go have your tubes tied, you know.
Mm. Wow.
And there was certain things like it, because they was like,
Yeah.
you be in the military, we're gonna let you be in the military, but you're
But
not
you
gonna
got.
have no 8, 9, 10 children. And that was good in a
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
because you there to fight a war, or
Mm.
whatever. Whenever your call time comes, you got to go.
Yeah.
And so me having my two children, thank God for them, and
Yes.
them to drive, be able to go with me and travel and to experience great things,
Right.
schools and all that good thing. That's what I considered a blessing, and I was glad that I was able to do that for them, But it brought a lot of challenges, because you always had to find a babysitter.
Right.
Because they was
Yes.
little bitty children, you always had, that was bad experiences, because you would,
Mm.
some people, like women are out there just to get paid,
Right.
don't care
Not
nothing
really
about
looking
your
after.
children.
Yeah.
And then finding things for them to do, so their lives would be structured and stuff. And it was a challenge. And then, like,
Yeah.
sometimes if you had to go to the field for 30 days or
Oh
whatever,
yes. Yes.
who am I going to leave my children with? So
Right.
thank God for my mom,
Mhm.
and some women I got to experience with them, and I got to see their story.
Mhm.
They had mothers, but their mothers was not there to help them.
Right.
They were telling me all the time how blessed I was to have a mom that would take my kids. Because I
Mhm.
was, Mama, I got to go, and she'd be there like, she wanted them to take them anyway.
Right. Like, okay, I'm already outside actually.
So I was
Yeah.
blessed. I was blessed that way.
Yes,
But it was a
ma'am.
lot of young ladies, and my hearts went out to them, where they was like, they didn't know what to do.
Right.
So sometimes we look at things the wrong way, because we're like, oh, the military won't let us have it. It was a reason for that, and we didn't understand it, but it was a reason. And if I hadn't had the support that I had from my family, I would have been in a terrible spot. But I thank God that I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that as well, and thankful for your village that you had. Now, again, last class of the Women's Army Corps. It ends, I believe, in 1978. Yes, and so after that, what happens then? Are you still in the Army, or do you have to let go? What happens after
Well,
that
I
comes to an
enjoyed
end?
my time in the military. I
Right.
really did. I was supply. I was supply sergeant, so everybody needed me. I
So
loved
supplies that
that.
you would bring in, literally supplies just for the military and
Hmm.
all of that. Okay.
The Army cannot function without supply.
Yep.
They need food, they need guns, they need pencil, paper, toilet paper, they need food, they need airplanes, they need trucks, they need everything.
That's true.
And so they had to come to me. And so even though I might have not had, it's like an officer or something, I was very important.
Yeah, hey,
So
that's great.
that, that made my life a lot easier than a lot of
Right.
people in the military, and I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed
Yes.
that.
That is awesome.
I think that I really enjoyed that because I had a little power, even though the guys and stuff wanted to give me all kind of mess,
Right.
they could not, because
Right.
they needed me.
They needed you. They needed those supplies, and they would play with you a little
Yeah.
bit, but couldn't play too hard.
They needed beds, they needed the pillows, the toothpaste, they needed everything. So even the officers, the high ranking, everybody
Right.
relied on me. So,
Wow.
and me doing my job. And I liked my job. I liked working with the people that I had to work with. I liked the shopping part. I had a card. I go shopping for the whole battalion, because most of the places I was in like headquarters or the higher echelons of the military. And
Nice.
I like that. And so it wasn't too many people that bothered me.
Right.
They really liked me. And I like being liked.
Not you as the shot caller there. Hey.
Yeah,
I
all that
love
stuff they
that.
wanted to take me to, I could see them doing somebody else, and I'm like, don't you take it. I told them, you don't have to take it, because I didn't have to take none of that, and I was blessed that way.
That's good.
I was glad that I chose that as my
Yeah.
MOS.
I love that. Now, just looking at the military now across any branch, I mean, do you have any thoughts on how, I guess, women have been integrated now, and just how women are just openly a part of the military? Do you have any thoughts or on that at all?
I do. I feel like it's changed a lot, and sometimes I think that it might be for the better, because like the things that I missed out on, we couldn't wear earrings, we couldn't walk around when it rained, we couldn't have an umbrella,
Right.
things like that. It bothered my womanhood. You know, I'm
Right.
like, the Air Force could have umbrellas and wear earrings, but the
Yeah.
Army couldn't. And
Yes, ma'am.
little things, seeing the other women do stuff like that, it made you think some type of way. But now seeing how they can have their hair braided, they can have dreads, they can have their
Yes.
hair down their
Yes,
back.
I
And
remember like hair couldn't touch your
Yeah.
shoulders, right, or something in the
Yeah.
Army branch. I'm speaking on Army branch because I know Air Force and everybody else had different, maybe more lenient rules for the women. But
Yeah.
I think the hair couldn't. I just,
Yeah.
remember some things from my mom, and now I'm
Uh-huh.
like, her hair's down her back,
And
like.
it upsets me, but I'm like, cause to me, I'm looking at it as like if something happened, you got all this where I guess when I was there, it made it more simple for you to fight or whatever, because you get in a fight nowadays with anybody, they gonna pull.
They gonna pull and yeah.
Yeah,
Earring
so-
gone, nails gone.
Yeah, so it's a lot different, and I just want to see how it plays out. We are here. We women are here, and we here to stay.
Yes.
We have a part to play in all types of roles in the United States. And
I want to speak a bit, even after your military time, you didn't separate yourself fully because you are one of the founders of your organization here in the CSRA, Women Veterans Organization, of the CSRA. Just tell me about that organization there and let us know, what's the benefits of it and how women can find out about it.
okay, when I got to Augusta after all I went through, and I finally got out of the military. I had visited New Orleans, and I had always wanted to go to New Orleans. And when I finally got to go, I fell in love. So when I went to visit, so when I got out of the military, I was already stationed at Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Okay, Lake Charles.
And so I was like, well, I'm going to move, because I knew I wasn't going back to North Carolina, where I'm from. So I said, well, I'm going to move to New Orleans. And I did.
I love that. I love New Orleans.
And I got to New Orleans, and that was a struggle. It was a struggle coming from the military. Anybody transitioning from military to civilian life goes through a lot. It is not fun. Nobody told me about it then. Nowadays, they got little places where you can go and they
help
have
with the
workshops.
transitions and all that,
Brochures, and forget to do this and that. Nobody did me like that. So I got to New Orleans, and I started my life as a civilian, and it was a rocky way, but I made it. And thank God my kids was up and grown and on their own and stuff and doing what they wanted to do, and so it left me. And Hurricane Katrina came. So then that's how I ended up here.
Wow.
In Augusta. And my daughter and her husband was stationed here, and that's how I got here. And so I got here, and I was like, well, what am I going to do now? Where am I going to go? And I got a lot of help being a veteran. The VA was here. They helped me a lot. I started doing a little work at the VA, I like that. I really
Yes.
like that. I was in media, and I
Nice.
like
You
that.
right
And I
here.
was
You
loving
in your
that.
element right now.
I was loving it. And then, but I couldn't get the job because of the budget. So
Mm-mm.
then I kept on, and so then I got a job at the commissary on Fort Gordon.
Right.
I love that because I love people, and I
Yes.
started meeting people. And I started looking around, and I was like, I started thinking about me, and looking back on my life, what all I have been through, the marriages, my children, the struggles, the all sorts of things, financial stuff, things. And I was like, Lord, after He had delivered me from that storm, I was looking at how I could give back. What could I do to help somebody? I'm always wanting to help somebody and give back because I'm grateful for the Lord, what He does for me. And one day I was reading the newspaper and I saw where this lady was hosting a little gathering at her house. And she said, any women veterans, please come. And she said, let's talk. So cut that little part out and I saved it. And so when time came, I went to that house. And when I got there, I was the only black person there.
Mm-hmm.
It was 7 of us. It was 6 white women and me.
Nice.
And so we sit there and we was like amazed. That's the first time I've been around that many female veterans since I had gotten out of the military.
Wow.
And they was like, what are we going to do now, y'all? So one of them said, well, let's start the lady that called the pilots together, she wasn't even a veteran. Her husband was.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
so they said, well, let's start an organization, a club, so we can, continue meeting
To
and
meet
stuff.
up.
So we was like, okay. So somebody said, well, let's set it up now. So we was like, okay. So I got our little positions together. Who's gonna be the president and the vice and
What was your
I
position?
was secretary.
Secretary. I knew it. I knew
So,
it.
I was secretary. And so we left out of there that day, and girl, you talk about feeling good. I just really felt good. I was like, this is part of my calling. We're going to do something with this. So we started meeting once a month at little restaurants around Augusta, and then we would sit there and tell war stories and laugh. And then after a while, we decided we wanted to go farther, and we wanted me being the secretary. That's when way back then they didn't have the icons and all this kind of stuff. So every time a holiday or something would come up, I would try to find something to go with the holiday. To put like a
Oh.
pumpkin on a little newsletter. I used to try to make
Yeah.
us a newsletter. So I got paper. I started going to the, I don't know if they had a Staples way back in the dark ages or not, but found out how I could get us a box of paper,
Nice.
and I bought a printer from the PX, and we just put our little stuff together. So then they started giving me like so much money. It wasn't that much, maybe $10 or $20 a month to buy
Right.
stamps and the
Wow.
envelopes and to help with the paper. And we kept on, and we started getting our membership up because we was telling other people about what we was doing. We was advertising,
I
and we
love
came
that.
together as a group, and we had a club. We was the Women Veterans Club of the CSRA.
I love that.
So then we was like, okay, we need to start paying dues because it's starting to cost, and they didn't want me to be paying for the stuff because I was the one that mostly spending most of the money. So we had our treasurer, and we got our little stuff together, and people found out about us, and they needed help. We was like, we need help, so we trying to figure out, and then at the same time, we trying to find people that we could help.
Right.
And we started doing little fundraisers and doing little things, and we just got involved in the CSRA doing things for
Wow.
women veterans and their children. And so then we had a commander,
Mm-hmm.
and then she died from cancer. And then we got another commander, and she died from cancer. And neither one of them stayed in office over a year.
Wow.
So when the second one died, we voted, and they voted for me to be the next commander.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, because I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe they invited and voted for me. And so then things we started moving farther. I tried to change things, listen to people's, uh, suggestions, and then we decided things wasn't going like we wanted it to. So we was like, well, maybe we need to just kill it.
Oh, yeah.
And I said no. It was something inside of me said no. And so we met at this lady's house. She's dead now. She's a World War II veteran.
Wow.
Ann Hall. We met at her house, and they said Carol had came. Her name was Carol. I forgot her last name. She had came in and she said, "This is all the money we had left," and I think it was like $1,000 something. And they said, "We're gonna close it. What should we do with the money?" And I said, "I don't want to close this." I said, "I'll keep it going." And so Ann said she would help me. And so Carol said, well, here's the money. We're going to give y'all this money. And so I took it, and then that's when I came up with the Women Veterans Club of the organization. We turned it out from a club. It was suggested to me that a club wasn't right. We needed to become an organization. So we just went from there, and then we just started. I saw the need, and I knew the need, and I tried to make sure that us as an organization could be there for our women veterans that's in need and their families, and that's what we try to do. And we have been very successful at it. We have gave, and it's not because we wish people would donate us some money. We've never been able to get a grant. We've done things for me begging. I'm a good beggar and pleading and we need it.
You might be a saleswoman too in a little bit. That might be also on your side. Okay.
I will go in a politician's office, mayors. You have an open door policy? Right. I want to talk to you. We need this. Can y'all help and things like that? And we've been very successful. We've helped a lot of women veterans in the CSRA. Yeah. We've helped women move from our homelessness into their own apartments. We've furnished the apartments before they leave out of when they move in with their furniture, their TVs and cleaning supplies and food, and we've been able to do that with donations and stuff. And we appreciate that, doing stuff like that.
That's
providing
amazing.
Toiletries, doing all sorts of stuff. We're not able to do as much as we would like because we don't have the income, but
how can the community reach you all and help out with either the donations or just physical items, whatever you all may need? How can the community?
We have they can always call me.
Yes, ma'am.
They can always call me and get in touch with me. Right now we don't have that many members, but we try to stay as active as we can. Yes. We just donated a couch last week, I believe. Wow. That was donated to us, brand new. We have stuff, we have a storage. We always taking used furniture, new furniture, whatever, to help a veteran out. A lot of guys say, well, we are veterans too, and we're not trying to be mean, but we trying to help our women veterans.
Right.
We feel like the men is the majority and we the minority, so we try to help them.
Got to keep that sisterhood going. Yes, you were taught and instilled, you're passing it on. So.
And so donations, they can send those to we have our address, I believe it's on our Facebook page.
Okay.
We had a website,
yes,
but I closed that down because I couldn't find anybody to help us to keep that up and running.
Right.
And we need a lot of help in those types of areas and stuff like that with website, to share stuff with the public and stuff, or we trust our Facebook page. We have a Women Veterans Club Facebook page, and we have a Women Veterans Organization of the CSRA Facebook page.
Perfect. Okay, so many people can reach you all there on your Facebook page, as Ms. Watha said, and just make sure we continue to lift up our women veterans. Again, I said that this convo here and topic is very near and dear to me, so I would love if the community continues to pour into you all, yes, of course, and you you've had the chance to pour into the community, so we want to keep that going and all of that good stuff. I definitely wish you, I thank you for coming in here and speaking about not only your journey, but also how you're still going strong for the veterans and just for the military. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with before we wrap up, turn up the volume for today?
Well, I would just like to share that today there's a lot of veterans organizations out there, and some is out there for the right reason, and some is out there for the wrong reason. But whatever reason it is, just be for real. And the ones that's out there, you can't. Everybody keeps trying. A lot of them keeps coming up. Everybody has their dreams, but sometimes it matters if we put our dreams together, and everybody come together as one. Because I don't mind helping other organizations, other clubs. I'm involved in it, and members of all sorts of stuff, trying to see how I can make a way and what I can present to help them succeed. So sometimes if we could maybe just get all of it, have like a one big thing to get together, maybe we can get what we need accomplished as a group.
Yeah.
As a group, and
I think that
just
sounds
try
like
to
an
help
awesome
each
idea.
other,
Yeah.
and we come together as unity,
Right.
and stand together so that we can do something that's more powerful than just one person. We come
Right.
together as a group.
Yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
definitely agree. You know, come together,
Yeah.
continue to help our veterans in the community.
Yeah.
This is Augusta. We have Fort Gordon here, so
Yes.
we'll always, it'll always be a need for that here in this community. So I thank you, and I
You're
appreciate you for
welcome.
coming through, telling your
welcome.
story,
It's my
and
pleasure.
enlightening us on this need in your organization. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.